You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gird your loins. The tinglage may be out of control. You are in Wenz World.
With the one and only voice of Atlanta traffic, Mr. Chris Monroe.
Let's get crazy. We got to get crazy up in here.
Let's get weird in Wenz World.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I got to tell you, I thought of you this morning.
Okay.
Well, in a very hetero way. On my way in,
I know you like girls.
I love girls.
Yeah.
Love girls. I talk about it all the time how much I love them.
That's true.
So so I'm on my way in and I'm looking at the express lanes that are nearly open.
Yeah, they're coming right along, aren't they?
They're vague booking with this late summer opening. I don't know if that's September because summer goes all the way into January, right?
Yeah, when you're a government agency, you want to make sure that you're not
you hedge your bets.
Specific. Give yourself a wide berth.
So the roads look extremely ready, right?
Yeah.
But apparently, the DOT and our local government subsidiaries and leaders have decided that they will put points on the Wenz's license and or hand out a fine to yours truly if I choose to take the express lanes prematurely. Now, I'm not a premature kind of guy. When I go on the road, I go for the whole distance, if you know what I mean.
The full meal deal.
The full meal deal. No shortcuts here.
All right.
So
that's not what I've heard. But
hey, lies. Lots of lies in the media. Fake news, Jerry. I was in the pool.
Wait, where did you see this thing about points on your license? So
on 575, there's the the light up sign,
right? The electronic,
the light bright.
They're called variable message signs, or VMS.
Nobody would know that if we didn't have the voice of Atlanta traffic.
In other cities, and sometimes here, they're called changeable message signs, or CMS. They love, the government loves their acronym for anything, even if it doesn't spell anything or make anything. They love their acronyms, their alphabet soup. Yeah.
Ooh, it would be cool if they served soup on a cold day. Like if you're stuck in traffic, actually, how about the homeless? They serve us from now on. If you have nothing to do, make soup, bring something to my car if you want money.
There's a good idea. Instead of just panhandling and saying, please help me, why don't you go, take some of that money, invest a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a product. I'm asking way too much.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. We're wasting time. That won't happen. The express lanes will be open before anybody gets that kind of spirit.
Late summer.
It's like the old movie trailers.
Yeah.
Coming to VHS late this summer.
VHS, Laserdisc, and Betamax.
Jurassic Park World, the 18th installment of the movie.
Do you realize there was a time when VHS movies were like $90?
I remember going to Suncoast Video with my dad and Turtle Music.
Turtles music.
Yeah, man.
The stamps. The
Oh, yeah. You get the stamps. I bought my cassette of Four Non-Blondes and jamming out to What's Up. I said, hey, what's going on? What's going on is we are months away from the opening of Express Lane Wonder, and I'm excited. But in the meantime, it's like signs that tell me, sign everywhere. There's a sign telling me what not to do. It just makes me want to hop on the express lane just for a couple miles to see what happens.
It's like, do not touch this button under any circumstances. Well, I mean, the thing you want to do is more than anything is touch that button.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't, want to follow the Bible, because it's like full of things not to do. It's like, don't do this. But then the New Testament is full of do these things instead of the don't.
It's human nature to do that. It's funny, I haven't seen that, but it would be, obviously during a closed road, I'm sure there's a lot of people, now that it's getting near completion, there's a lot of people that
are
probably
thinking,
want to take a little joyride down the express lanes or up the express lanes, Where
you can actually reach 55.
Right.
Because there are mornings, man, where, folks, you can't even get up to the speed limit the whole time in, and your brakes need changing after just a week's worth of driving. It's just terrible. And so I'm really hoping, Chris, that these value lanes, as I call them, value lanes, for the value customers of the Georgia Pit Pass, that's what I call it, Andretti's. I call 75 Andretti's now. It's synonymous.
Andretti's, okay.
'Cause now you have to pay to drive on the road.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Same kind of thing. Minus the bar 50 feet away. Have you been to an Andretti's? I know we're going off topic here.
I haven't, but I've always kind of wanted to, just to go in there to see what it was like.
You should, and it's so much fun, dude. It's like, it's $25 a race, but the race lasts for, I think, 7 or 8 minutes, and it's so much fun. And those cars fly, man. Gas motors, no BS bumper car nonsense.
Nice.
It's the real freaking deal.
This is not your little bumper car thing like at Six Flags.
This is like legit, man.
That's sweet.
And they have a bar, full service bar, upstairs and down, with liquor, beer, wine.
It sounds kind of like it's trying to be the new Dave & Buster's after Dave & Buster's kind of went downhill a little bit.
I think it has something to do with, well, we won't go there. We were going to say just the age of the building.
Yeah.
We're going to go with the building itself.
Just,
it's not really
just not doing it.
Kind of building that you want to go to. Mm-hmm. So what can we anticipate for this upcoming weekend on the Atlanta roadways?
This is an area that you want to avoid altogether on the perimeter south side, 285 between Moreland Avenue, 675, and Jonesboro Road. That's in that area between 675 and 75 in South DeKalb County, in the Panthersville area. You know where I'm talking about, that stretch of 285.
Is that where all the Fireball whiskey spilled last week?
I don't know.
Did you hear about that?
Was that if it was past my shift, I didn't know about it.
Well, nobody would know about it if it was past your shift. Because,
hey,
we don't really. I tried to call about it, and
the phone just rang.
For some reason, the phone just rang on. I figured it's because so many people are calling about said event, but a whole tractor trailer full of Fireball whiskey, I guess jackknife, and the whole shipment hit the ground. So now the road is drunk forever. On bad whiskey.
Right, on bad whiskey.
It's like the road curves where it didn't curve before.
Right. Well, that area down there, they're going to be doing massive road work. And last weekend, it was gridlock. There were people that were sitting there for hours. I mean, it's down to, because that is a corridor of the perimeter that at one point, saw very little traffic, but it's taking so much traffic now.
Yep, drugs and OJ.
On that south side corridor. So, again, avoid it anywhere between Panthersville, Conley, and the airport. That south end leg of the perimeter between, say, 75 and 675. That's a real problem. A lot of road work, of course, on the Express Lane project will be going on, and the repave of 75 up there. So all weekend, that'll be an issue. And, this week, too, we had a crash yesterday, or earlier in the week, that had 5 motorcycles involved. Nobody ended up getting hurt.
Can I? All right, this is not a hot take, but it's my real feelings on motorcycles. If I'm in a vehicle that is dangerous for me to drive because of other people, I feel like it's my responsibility to not be the idiot that's swerving in between cars and just trying to get an edge and get to where I am first. But instead, you have all these tools with the sticker on the back of their car. Look twice. Motorcycles are everywhere. And I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't the motorcycles be the one looking twice? Because they're the ones with no walls around them. I am in a vehicle with walls.
How about just not riding a motorcycle in a major metropolitan area?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think that's the dumbest thing ever, to be out on an expressway and especially doing those kind of maneuvers. And the other thing, it's even below, one step below that, is share the road. You know, around me, we have these bike lanes on either side. And these guys, and it says, the signs say ride single file. And they get and it has a grass and tree median down the middle, and it's single lane, so you can't swerve around to give them this wide berth.
Right.
I mean, they just have to be, and they'll ride double, and they'll cross the line, and they don't look. And I'm like, dude, I should not have to compete in a multi-ton car with your skinny butt on a bicycle.
Right.
You know, and my worst fear is running over somebody.
Then you're always the bad guy, no matter what, if you're at fault or not.
Yeah.
It's always the motorist.
I mean, and I try to, but I'm not going to swerve into oncoming traffic to try to, give you 100 feet around your bicycle. You've got to pay attention to where you're going, because the bike lane is wide.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
Why not just put them on sidewalks back in the good old days? Just ride on the sidewalk.
And it's just
because you're too slow to be on the road anyway.
And it's that whole biker. It's not enough just to buy a nice bike and ride. You got to have the whole look now.
And with those skin tight.
You got to have biker shorts and the shirt with the logo sponsors on it, and the 2 water bottles that are in the helmet with your little LED light on it. Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't push your biking beliefs on me, by the way.
Get off
I'm
my
so
lawn.
tired of it. Yeah. If you're slowing down traffic because you want to get exercise, go to the gym. Like, seriously, dude.
There's cities out there that are bike friendly. Atlanta's not.
Move to Oregon.
City. Yeah, right.
Portland, Astoria.
Yeah, a lot of places that that are very bike friendly. Atlanta.
Pedal your reefer elsewhere. That's what we say here in Wenz World. We're a drug-free zone. Drug-free.
Well, that's good. You know, because Nancy Reagan said just say no in the 80s.
Damn right. Reaganomics reigns supreme here in Wenz World.
That's right.
So, Chris, we'll have you back next week. I'm sure there'll be more cattle tipping, fireball, drunk cows, maybe, if they fall in the same area as that whiskey truck. And perhaps, hey, they say late summer, but they may surprise us because, after all, these are private contracts to get these. So you never know. It's the power of capitalism, baby, and benefits.
Well, in the next couple of weeks, we may start to get a little bit of break in the rush hours, just a little bit. There's a couple of areas now this past week that have started to lighten up a little bit in the mornings with school out, but it's taken forever. And I remember the time, man, like when it was almost just wide open when school was out. Like there's no delay at all, but we're way past that.
Love it when it's wide open.
Yeah.
So how do people actually get the Express Lane Pass? Is there a website?
Yeah. It's peachpatch.com, I'm pretty sure.
That's really weird that it's a .com and not a .gov or .org or something.
I think it's Peach Pass. Just Google Peach Pass and it'll come up. It's really easy. And what you do is you sign up for an account. And there's 2 services. There's one that's Peach Pass Go that you can pay at certain locations, where you can load your account. And then there's certain where if you just go online, it debits your credit or debit card for $20. So it puts $20 in your toll account, and then that gets deducted as you use it automatically. And then once you reach, I think it's $3 or something, they automatically charge you for $20 again.
They should do Peach Pass gift cards for stocking stuffers. Or like
it's a good idea.
Like sell them at Kroger, where right next to the Bass Pro Shop and Applebee's gift cards, $20.
Give the gift of better traffic.
Seriously though, dude, think how many people would want. I want that.
That is a good idea. Being able to you know what?
Don't steal it. Don't even think hey, put your phone down, sir.
I'm making a little note here.
All rights reserved. LLC. Gift of Music Foundation.
Trademark patent pending.
Gift of Music and Traffic. The Gift of Traffic.
Right.
Domingo. For all of your quinceañeras, celebrations of mediocrities, accomplishments, everything in between. That is what the Gobbler and the Wenz do right here every single Sunday between 11 and noon Eastern Standard Time.
Is that what time it is?
I think so.
Okay. That's good to know.
I think we may actually start after 11, after news and commercial spots.
News, traffic, and weather all together.
We should start doing traffic on the weekends,
Oh, that's
I think.
true. Because you should come in and do it.
I think, well, I'm here. Why not just get here a little bit earlier?
There you go.
But as you know, folks, this is the time that we spin Yield Topic Wheel. It's out of the shop. Unfortunately, I had to pay a $75 deductible to get the spokes fixed on it.
That's not too high.
It's not too bad.
No.
It's not covered by my insurance, but that's okay.
Wheel
Anything
insurance.
for the fans. wheel insurance. It's an add-on with Allstate. I'm in good hands here with Radio Griff. Griff, why don't you spin the wheel?
Bunker studio this week.
We are in the bunker studio in parts unknown. We can't tell you that for your safety and ours, but Griff, I would appreciate it. My arms are really swole from all the steroids I did. If you could give the wheel a rip.
I'll do it.
Here we go. Trump making America great again. Damn freaking right. Minus the whole Eagles White House thing. Aisha Curry, Houston restaurant. The Connor family.
What?
Whoa. Connor. John Connor from Terminator 2. Are they doing a spinoff with the Schwarzenegger shtick and all that? Or is this something that I need to know about Roseanne?
I think it's about Roseanne, I believe.
Is she the new Terminator?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Dude, it would be cool.
I never watched Terminator. I've never seen Terminator.
Hasta la vista, Ambien.
No, so they announced this past week. We've covered Roseanne extensively here on Wenz World.
Extensive coverage.
I mean, probably the only radio show in the city that's covered it as extensively and in depth as we have is here in Wenz World, the Roseanne saga. We were talking about Roseanne when it was on the air, and it was a big deal. We were saying, how funny it is and what a great show it is. Mm-hmm. And then a couple weeks ago, of course, the tweets happened. She left the show. We talked about the potential that they would do a spinoff without Roseanne, that the rest of the cast would come back. They would center it around Darlene. We had the great idea. You brought it up that you heard from someone else. Just replace Roseanne with Danny DeVito.
Straight up.
That's a great idea. I think that's the most genius idea. Unfortunately, they're not doing that. They are bringing the show back. It's going to be called The Connors, or The Connor Family, because that's their last name. No more Roseanne. So you'll still have Darlene. You'll have Dan, John Goodman. That's his name, right? Dan?
Yeah.
And then you'll have Lori Metcalf, who's on the show, the sister. So they'll be centered around the three of them. I think the main focus will still be on Darlene, which we've talked about here before in Wenz World. I'm kind of bored by that. But I'm at least going to tune in for the first episode, because I imagine the press release said something about after a unforeseen set of events that occurred or something, the Connor family deals with living life in their small Illinois town or whatever.
Right.
So something's going to happen. I assume they're going to kill her off.
Lanford,
Illinois, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I assume they're going to kill her off. So I'll definitely tune in for that first episode to see how all of that goes down. Will they take the easy road? And because they already brought up, as we talked before, about the Ambien and all that. Maybe she was addicted to painkillers. She was going into surgery. Maybe something goes wrong. Will they make it easy like that? Or will they go all out and make it funny and ridiculous and, I don't know, something crazy happens to her and that's how she passes away? Or will they even kill her off?
How would you handle it if you were a producer?
I don't think I would truly kill her off. Because it's 2018, man. Anything can happen.
Or you could kill her off and she comes back as a zombie. Zombie Roseanne. More racist than ever.
I think that'd be pretty funny. I wouldn't kill her off. I would somehow have her disappear. Something happens. She's gone. Make it some ridiculous, absurd reason for why she's no longer there. I don't know. Maybe she runs for president or something and is in the White House now, and she's living in D.C. and now she's president. But they're still all stuck in Illinois for some reason, or I don't know. Something crazy happens. I wouldn't kill her off though, because you never know. You never know what might happen.
Very true.
So are you in on the Connor family? The Connors? Are you in on this?
Well, as we've talked about this at length before, Griff, I think ABC's...
A lot of people are interested.
Well, I'm interested too. And as you know, America is interested in the weird. And that's exactly what Darlene brings to the forefront with her two oddball kids. You got a girl named Harris and a cross-dressing boy named Mark Jr. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to explore that weird angle with that portion of the family more than ever.
See, then here's my problem. We've talked about this before on the show. Roseanne was the #1 show on television this past spring. And a lot of it was thanks to appealing to middle America. I think by the focusing everything on Darlene and her possibly her weird kids, like you say, I don't know. I think they might lose some of that middle America appeal.
I don't think they care about that anymore.
Well, they're not going to win. They're not going to be winners anymore. This is going to be a one and done type thing then.
Maybe.
That might be the plan. Save all these jobs they already committed to for this next season, do 10 episodes, and then just be done with it.
So do we know when the reboot is actually launching?
It's supposed to be in September. Ooh. It's this fall. It's happening. It's going.
I don't know, but can it compete? It depends on, first of all, what night it's on.
Tuesdays at 8 o'clock.
No, that's This Is Us night on NBC.
Well, that comes on at 9.
Yeah, but I need time to buy tissues because of the amount of dust from the ceiling. I'm not actually crying for emotions.
I never cried.
I don't have emotions.
Us dudes, we don't do that. It really does depend on that time slot and really how they address it in the first episode. I think the best way to handle it would be to just look at the camera and just say, yeah, we had to let Roseanne go, and address it in a funny way, and then just move on.
Just move on and don't even deal with it.
But I do think because ABC is partially lobbied by GlaxoSmithKline and Pfizer, that they'll make it something about an overdose on surgery instead of pills. She had too much surgery.
Yeah, you're a pill truther.
Not enough pills. Big Pharma.
And Big Pharma.
Every show on Game Show Network, the breaks are laced with Big Pharma.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I believe the ABC is following that path. By the way, there's nothing better than coming home and watching reruns of Family Feud on the Game Show Network every night.
Is that what you do?
Every night, yeah. I feel like such an oldie locks because I get to bed by 10 sharp-a-mundo, not a minute later. But between 8 and 10, nonstop Family Feud.
That's all you watch at night.
That's all I'm doing, man. But I'm learning a lot about
What's
America.
Going on?
Which is really...
Okay, now which Family Feuds are you watching?
Steve Harvey, the only one that really matters.
Steve Harvey?
Yeah,
reruns?
Steve Harvey, dude.
What?
Dude, Steve Harvey.
Are those even old enough to be rerun?
Yeah, because they're the only thing live or new that he's doing is the Celebrity Family Feud.
No, he still does new ones?
Yeah, but those are the new ones. I don't think they do...
No, they do new ones still. They're in syndication.
Really?
Like at 7 o'clock on the CW or something.
Oh, I don't get that channel. Okay. I don't think that's part of the package that I didn't order.
Family Feud went through a few odd hosts.
Yep.
There was a time when, of course, they had the two. Was it Richard? Oh no! Who's the first?
Ray Combs? No, before him was Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson.
He gave everybody herpes.
There was Ray Combs. Who was the guy who did it through the 90s?
Louis Anderson?
Well, see, now that was what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Richard Karn and Louis Anderson.
Oh, yeah, from Home Improvement. Richard Karn.
Is Ray Combs the guy in the 90s who did it?
Yeah, he did it, and unfortunately, he's not with us anymore.
That's the guy, Ray Combs.
Yeah, Ray Combs.
I thought there was a guy after him who was the guy who killed himself.
No, it was Combs.
It's Combs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Richard Karn, Home Improvement, Al from Home Improvement, right?
Yeah, and the guy who does commercials for flooring now.
Yeah.
I'm not hating. Hey, if somebody offered the Wenz a few bucks to do some commercials for anything, I'd do it. Anything. And I literally mean anything. Any kind of medication. I'm a total hypocrite, so I will support Big Pharma for $10.
Yeah, it was Ray Combs. He died in 96.
Mm-hmm.
Was he still producing, or was he still filming episodes?
I don't know.
When he died?
That's a really good question.
Did he off himself, or didn't he die around the same time Phil Hartman died and all that? It was in the 90s. It was weird, these kind of big TV figures were crazy stuff.
Well, I think Phil
happened.
Hartman's wife killed him, didn't
Right, it was a murder-suicide thing that happened there.
Ugh,
crazy.
so ugly.
90s television, man.
How did we get off on
Chris
this?
Farley.
Oh, Roseanne. Full circle.
Hey, there you go.
Full circle. Or, Griff, I love your idea. Danny DeVito, straight up.
That's my idea now. I like it.
Straight up pick. It's kind of like Steph Curry for LeBron James, straight up. That kind of thing.
I would do it.
Yeah, why not?
At least Steph's not on steroids.
So, whoa. Well,
Much like Roseanne's on pills.
Oh, it's all coming out now. ABC, ESPN.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to give this wheel a ripperoo because I'm feeling really swole and I'm feeling very aggressive because of all the roids. So here we go. Oh! Big money, big money, big money! Somebody punched Draymond Green in the face, says Charles Barkley. That's old news. What is this wheel? I didn't change out the fake news. Also, Trump is making America great again. I won't hear any different.
I'm not going to comment.
Steph Curry's wife. You're a front runner, right?
No,
you wear the hats of every team that has moderate to mild psoriasis or success.
I'm a big fan of I consider myself a citizen of Dub Nation. The Warriors. I'm a big Warriors fan.
Is there a hashtag associated with that?
Hashtag Dub Nation. Hashtag Lock In. Hashtag The City.
What is Dub Nation? Will you explain that?
Warriors. W. Slang for W.
So
Dub.
does hashtag actually have a W in it?
What? It's hashtag DUB Nation.
So it's not Dub Nation. It's Dub Nation.
Dub Nation.
Like Dub would be W, right?
Yeah.
But there's no W in the actual hashtag supporting the Warriors.
It's Dub, D-U-B.
I'm very confused. But that's okay. It doesn't
George
matter.
Dub. He's probably a Warriors fan too because they're winners and he's a winner.
Well, he's probably more of a Rockets fan because he's from Texas.
Well, speaking of Texas,
speaking of
and the Warriors,
everything's
and Steph Curry,
everything's bigger in Texas,
and not Roseanne.
Everything is bigger in Texas. including the hatred
I can't see your eyes.
for the
It's really
Warriors. I'm wearing my WACHS inspired sunglasses, and it's awesome. I feel like I can be free. I feel like I should go on some sort of march or parade right now.
Like, we're looking at each other right now talking, and I can't see your eyes.
I could be staring at anything right now on you, and you wouldn't know. That's the beauty of wearing glasses.
I'm going to hide behind this.
No, don't hide. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh my gosh,
you are the man, Radio Griff.
So what's going on in Houston where everything's bigger?
Okay, everything's bigger.
I heard Houston's a terrible city.
I've heard it's hot.
Hot, just like it's concrete.
Too many Americans live there. Not enough migrants.
Maybe not anymore.
It's not a sanctuary city. I don't know what's going on with all that.
So what's going on in Houston? That's where the Rockets play.
So Aisha Curry, who, as you know, is your hero's wife, Steph Curry, Mr. Mouthpiece.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram.
I think she's opening a restaurant. Inside the restaurant,
a chef.
She has one of those claw machines where you can grab a mouth guard if you spend enough money.
Hey, man, I'm down.
But she opened a restaurant.
Yeah.
And if you'll just give me one moment to pull up, because our Wi-Fi here at the bunker isn't exactly strong. Rockets fans are bombarding Aisha Curry's Houston restaurant with 1-star reviews. The problem,
like, they're going on Yelp or Google and giving 1-star reviews.
Yeah, they're giving, and this is the name of her restaurant,
International Smoke.
International Smoke, not to be confused with a pot shop in Colorado
it is
or Seattle.
Name. Like, she has multiple restaurants, and like there's some in the Bay Area. There's one in Hawaii.
Right.
They're all called International Smoke.
Right.
Odd name for a restaurant. I have no idea what kind of food they have.
Probably, I would guess barbecue. Like, you smoke barbecue, pork butt. That was an answer on Family Feud, by the way.
With international flavor.
Name something.
I was watching Family Feud the other day. Mm-hmm. It was Celebrity.
Was it with Kim Ye?
No, it was with NBA guys.
Oh, with Ernie and Charles?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Versus Major League Baseball guys who no one's ever heard of.
Was it?
Literally, like, they had former Mets reliever.
And one token female on each side.
Yeah. Who was the female on the baseball side?
No, I've never heard of her.
I didn't know chicks played baseball. News to me.
Not at all. Well, Madonna and Rosie O'Donnell do, but other than that,
there's no crying in baseball, though. Mm-hmm. On the Major League side, they had a former Mets reliever, John Franco.
Yeah.
What? That guy looked so uncomfortable.
And he gave terrible answers the whole time.
I think he missed all his answers.
Yeah.
Of all the MLB stars, you can't get someone better than John. I only know him because the Mets are in the NL East, the Braves play in the NL East. If I was outside of the East Coast, I'd have no idea who this John Franco is. That was odd.
But to balance it out, let's be fair. They did have J-Roll. They did have Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I didn't know he was. I thought he was still playing.
No, he's retired. But
then, who else did they even have? Though they had nobody.
And the guy with the spiky hair that used to play for the Red Sox and the Yankees,
Johnny Damon.
Yeah,
Damon's cool.
Yeah,
he was on roids at one point. Though.
And then everybody in baseball, as it should be. Nobody likes a 1-0 game except for you, Griff.
Yeah, LeBron.
You weirdo. LeBron. What is it with you and LeBron? Do you know something about his?
He's roided out.
Is he roided out?
Real.
I just think he's genetically superior to the rest of us. Honestly, that's my opinion.
I'm hungry.
Okay, we'll wrap this up.
Food.
We'll wrap this up. But speaking of food, International Smoke has gotten copious amounts of 1-star reviews, but the problem is the restaurant hasn't even opened yet.
Oh, so these are. What do the kids say?
It's unfair.
Salty Rockets fans.
Oh, salty. Yes, very salty. And
just ripping on Aisha's restaurant because
it's in Houston.
Why would they open a restaurant there?
It's a terrible idea to open a restaurant.
All those sorry Rockets fans, they'll still go eat there though.
So one of the 1-star reviews,
they're being petty.
They're using all caps with improper punctuation therein, but I digress. Genevieve A. says, first and foremost, I would like to start off by saying, how dare you bring this mess to Houston? We are good. We do not need this negativity. I can already taste the blandness of the food. This establishment might serve as dusty water and moldy lemons. Aisha, just pack up your restaurant and be going. You are not welcome in H-Town. Please save us the trouble and don't, like Bryson Tiller said. With that being said, the Warriors suck. Go Rockets. Actually, the Warriors don't suck. They just swept the Cavs to win the championship.
Yeah.
So I know she's a fan, but she's not accurate in that statement. They don't suck.
She's wrong.
She's wrong?
She's a nice lady. She's a mom of 2, a third on the way, is a good cook, has her own cookbook, has her own line of cooking and supplies and equipment, pots and pans you can buy at Macy's.
Pots and pans.
Yeah.
Like the movie Toy Soldiers.
I never saw that.
Pots and pans. Sean Astin.
That was like rated PG-13 when I was like 12.
Yeah, I had to go to a friend's house to watch it.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's like 2 soldier movies, like little kids.
Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
That was with the voice of Tommy Lee Not the drummer.
That's weird,
The
man.
porn
How do you
star.
remember that?
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah.
It's the same. They did the same thing around the same time with A Bug's Life and Ants.
Ants was a bad movie.
I never saw either.
And it made me itch every time I watch it because I'm always like arachnophobia. I always thought that I had spiders.
I used to play
on me.
that kid game, Ants in Your Pants. You try to like flip the ants into the pants.
Did you go to Catholic school?
No.
Okay, just wondering. The second 1-star review came from Sean S.
Yeah.
If 0 stars was an option, that's what I would have put. Insanely disrespectful to attempt to open a restaurant in Houston.
So they're not even. They're just mad at the fact that she's even attempting to open a restaurant in Houston.
Right. Go back to California and leave the real barbecue to the pros.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, like there's real barbecue.
Barbecue truthers here in
here we
Texas.
go. It's so subjective. You have St. Louis rub and Mississippi. I just made Mississippi up, but you get where I'm coming
there's
from.
Carolina.
There's Carolina.
Georgia has their own style.
Yep.
There's Korean barbecue.
Yeah, stop being so racist, Sean S. Go back to California, leave the real barbecue to the pros. The name of the restaurant makes sense because Curry about to get all the smoke in these reviews.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good line.
And he put all the smoke in all caps, which means he means business.
That's a pretty
what
good
all
line.
caps means.
Wow.
I actually have a friend who uses the exclamation point in every text.
You talking about me?
Vinny.
Vinny.
Booch, if you're listening to this,
the Booch.
which I'm gonna test him.
Yeah.
If he because this is gonna be on air. If he doesn't bring it up next week, he's off the show because I know he's not listening. You hear that, Booch? If you don't bring this up, you're off the
He's
show.
gonna freak out and send you a text with a bunch
He's
of
like, oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, speaking of which, after this, we don't have any more time because Griffin is late for his chiropractic appointment.
I actually have a dentist appointment on a Sunday, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, they're open today.
Oh my god!
I have to drive up there and
go. What kind of dentist works on a Sunday?
I don't know. The one I go to, the one I pay a lot of money to go to.
Do you ever get like unconscious there?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm kind of scared and nervous right now. I'm anxious.
Do you feel like you have a cavity?
Because I don't floss.
You can't lie to a dentist about floss.
Oh, I don't.
Gums don't lie.
I don't do it. I'm an adult now. I'm 30 years old. I answer truthfully now.
Wait, last week you were 35.
How am I? I don't know. I forget. But I'm an adult either way.
You are.
And then, but even if you say you don't floss, they're still going to floss you when they clean you.
They know.
And it hurts like.
And it bleeds.
It bleeds.
Yeah, if it bleeds, it leads.
And like
next week we're going to lead off the show with floss habits.
On Sunday nights, I like to go eat Mexican food, and my teeth.
Excuse me, Spanish food.
Hispanic food.
Thank you. Can we be a little more sensitive here?
I like to eat that food, and now my mouth is going to hurt tonight when I try to go eat because I'm going to the dentist. It's a terrible day.
Yeah, terrible day.
Terrible day. This is the only. This is the highlight of my day right now.
That's pretty pathetic.
I know.
So next week we're going to talk about how Griff's dentist appointment went.
Yeah. Stay tuned next week.
Also,
full recap.
Big news in the NFL offseason. We didn't have a chance to get to talk about the NBA draft, but by next week there'll be all sorts of trades.
What are the Hawks doing?
Hawks are just
the
terrible.
Hawks are trying
what a
to
mess.
create Dub Nation 2.0. It sounds like
Dub Nation. Is that the Rockets?
So H Nation.
H Nation.
Hun Nation. Haitians.
I don't know. This is getting so
on?
confusing. The Sixers
we're
totally
in trouble.
The Sixers totally, no doubt. Sixers totally screwed a hometown boy. He got shipped off to the desert.
Gosh, that was so sad.
Oh.
Him and his mom were so happy.
Yep.
And then like 10 minutes later, see ya.
Off to the Suns.
Has anyone talked to the mom since? Is she okay?
There will be plenty in the next week to talk about with that.
I'm worried about her.
NFL Madden's coming out soon, as you know.
I don't play video games.
You're an adult. You don't play video games, but Carson Wentz is only an 85. I have a lot of takes on that. What's of takes.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy Garoppolo, of course he's a 99. What else would he be?
Of course.
I mean, the handsomest guy in all of quarterbackery.
He's a 10 in my books.
Ooh, no kidding. Hey, so when we get back, we're going to be with the Booch, and we're going to interview.
I'm excited about this.
Oh, dude. UCW. Look, I don't want to bury what's going to happen next, but you're going to talk and hear from. You're not going to talk. You can talk to the radio if you want.
Yeah.
I don't care. I talk to it all the time.
I'll be listening.
You can listen and talk at the same time. But it's either going to be Johnny Swinger or Buff Bagwell. Two, by the way, those kinds of names, you could either work in adult film or be a wrestler. Or both, really, depending on how much money you make. But in all sincerity, the Booch is going to join us. We are going to question hard questions here in Wenz World.
Hard hitting.
We're asking the real questions, what a wrestler's life is really like.
The no spin zone.
We see them on TV and we think, oh, that's got to be easy. But there's a lot that goes into it, man.
Yeah.
Copious amounts of baby oil, training, the right kind of diet. And let's be honest, it's acting. I mean, that's why we call it the male soap opera moment.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that when we get back. But we never like to leave a segment with the Gobbler. By the way, check him out, GwinnettGobblers.com. So you can tell I'm killing time here.
You only have a few more weeks to check that out. The domain is about to expire.
Somebody pick up GwinnettGobblers.com. Do yourself a solid. Griff, you can book us for all of your quinceañeras, bar mitzvahs, graduation ceremonies. We have a very modest relocation fee, but we never like to leave a segment. You have it pulled up yet?
Yeah.
I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah.
With the Gobbler, without the sage lyrical wisdom of one zombie, Tom Petty.
What goes up must come down.
Right. Hey, this is Johnny Swinger. I'm in Wenz World, and don't forget, don't sing it, just swing it. Swing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wenz World. It is phenomenal to not only have the Booch, our wrestling encyclopedia, back with us in Wenz World, but to have the one and only Johnny Swinger, UCW's own. Johnny, welcome to Wenz World, man. How you doing?
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. You have such a storied career. You've been in WCW, TNA, WWE, UCW, and you've been with Universal Championship Wrestling since the inception in 2003. You're definitely a mainstay and held more championships than anybody else, and the longest reigning champ, man. How have you done all this?
Well, I think it's a combination of a few things. I just always kept myself in good shape, didn't do too much extracurricular activity outside of wrestling, so I just stayed focused on that, and probably a little bit of luck too. I just managed to survive all these years.
Absolutely, and of course, as we mentioned before, Johnny, you've been part of Universal Championship Wrestling since the beginning. How did you first become affiliated with UCW? How did you first become part of this great organization?
Well, I think its inception was somewhere around 2004, I believe, and I was actually with TNA at the time, and the contract that I had with TNA is I was allowed to do outside projects, and I think Ronnie Gossett had got in contact with me and had kind of laid out what he was starting up, and it just sounded like a great opportunity, and I got involved with it that way. Started running events throughout South Carolina and then into Georgia, so it was really good at the beginning. It kicked off really big.
Absolutely, and as someone who has worked for so many other wrestling promotions, and, of course, also on the indie scene, what is it about Universal Championship Wrestling that separates it from other indie promotions across the country?
Here's the difference right here is if you walk into a UCW event, it's like a major league event. It reminds us of when we were with WCW and even WWE, where there's, the production and the way everything's set up. A lot of the independents just don't have that. I don't know if it's a lack of funding or whatever, but UCW really does come across as major league, and for me, that's what I see. And even with our last event in Marietta, no different than all the events are always featured as a major league event.
Absolutely. The last event in Marietta, the forthcoming event in Griffin, Georgia, June 30th. It's going to be phenomenal. You can buy tickets between $7 and $45. There's no better deal for sports entertainment of this caliber. UCWTV.com. Johnny Swinger will be there. Of course, you can connect with Johnny on the Twitter sphere at Johnny Swinger 2. And of course, check out his website, swingtimewrestling.com. Johnny, as you're talking, I can definitely tell you're not from the South. You come from Long Island, New York, man. That's a pretty far distance between New York and Georgia. How have you arrived all the way down here from up there?
Well, actually, I was born in Buffalo. I was born and raised in Buffalo, and I lived in a couple different areas in New York. But WCW is what brought me to Atlanta because, as you guys know, it was owned by Turner Sports, and everything was based out of Atlanta. And I ended up down here in 1997 when I signed my first contract with them, and I just stayed throughout the years just because the travel was always the easiest. You could fly anywhere from here direct, or you could drive to so many. It was a really good central location, so that's why I stayed all these years. But, yeah, I was definitely a New York guy, and I broke in Canada, actually. Not a lot of people know that. Started my career there, and then when I was about 19 years old, I got the first call from WCW, and I started working for them, and eventually I just moved down, and then they signed me full-time.
Awesome. And, of course, you were with WCW for a very long time, and, of course, you've, as we mentioned many times before, you've worked for so many places, so many different promotions. What would you say are some of your most memorable matches in your career from WCW, TNA, ECW, WWE, and even Universal Championship Wrestling?
Wow, there's so many. Let's say that there was way more good ones than bad ones. I don't have too many bad matches. To me, a bad match is if you get seriously injured and got to go to the hospital or something. And I didn't have too many of those. I've had injuries over the years, but never anything serious. I really enjoyed working with wrestling. Most of the guys, in the same company, a lot of the guys that I watched when I was a kid on TV, especially with WCW, a lot of them are still wrestling, when I got there, like Greg the Hammer Valentine and Macho Man and Hulk and all those guys. I grew up watching those guys, and then to be able to be on cards with them and be in the ring with them, those were all great matches. Always remember wrestling Goldberg because at that time he was the top star in the sport. So, DDP, when he was on fire, just matches like that really kind of stand out. The super high caliber wrestlers that I got to be in the ring with.
Oh, absolutely, man. And you're still doing it big. You're in your 40s. Man, Johnny, we're all fighting the clock, but you've given Father Time the middle finger and managed to stay in peak physical condition. That's got to be tough, man. How do you do it? Let's get to it. What does a Johnny Swinger workout look like?
Well, I think you guys just had Buff on, and we're really good friends. You could ask him. It's not a secret. I don't miss workouts, and I don't miss my meals I don't eat once for the whole day. I eat my 5 or 6 times a day, so I constantly feeding my body fuel, you know what I mean, and training every day. Yeah. I also think I got a genetic advantage. I got, like, my physique. I'm not a huge guy, but I got wide shoulders and a small waist and a big, thick neck. It was just durable, I think, that I could take, a lot of the slams and suplexes a lot better than some of the guys that just didn't have that wide base. I really think that I've thought of that in the last couple of years. I think I had a pretty good genetic advantage. I really think I was built to be a professional wrestler with those dimensions, and never had a problem with my neck. And I've taken the choke slam from the Giant. I've taken the power bomb from Kevin Nash. I've taken the biggest moves you could take from the biggest guys on the planet. And like you said, I'm still walking around. So I owe that to genetics and just always training my body and never being out of shape. I've never been more than 1 week out of the gym in 30 years.
Again, if you're just joining us, we are with the one and only Johnny Swinger. He's given Father Time the Long Island leg sweep and the swing thing, and he's going to be doing that June 30th right here in Georgia, Griffin, Georgia, UCW Payback. I cannot wait to see this. Doors open at 6:30. The bell's ringing at 7. Johnny Swinger will be there entertaining the masses. What can we expect to see from you, Johnny Swinger, at UCW Payback?
Well, what you're going to see is the actual match between me and Carlito is supposed to take place in Marietta, which kind of got screwed up when Teddy Long came out and decided to turn it into a 2-on-1 match with, Scott Steiner. My gosh, turned a good friend of mine against me in one night. He's a handful by himself. When you stick 2 of those guys against me, it's just nobody could overcome those odds. So I was looking forward to the match with Carlito. We were in the WWE together, but never got to wrestle each other. So I prepared for that match that didn't happen in Marietta, but it's going to happen in Griffin. So I'm ready for that. I know he is. He's still a young guy. He's still in great shape and wrestling at an optimum level. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great match.
Absolutely. We are definitely looking forward to seeing that match. What kind of preparations are you doing to get ready for this one-on-one match with Carlito? Are you just getting ready for that one-on-one match, or are you preparing yourself to expect the unexpected because of what happened in the Cobb County?
Well, like you said, I'm old school, man, and I don't just go into a match blindfold. I do my homework, man. I've actually been watching some video on Carlito, and he's got one of the best drop kicks I've ever seen. So I don't want to be hit by those, and you got to watch out for the apple. He's either going to spit it in your eyes or he's going to throw it at your head or something. So just things like that I'm prepared for, and I'm prepared for Teddy Long to stick his nose in my match again, because if he did it once, he'll probably do it again, right? I think he's got a beef with me from back in the WCW days. I don't know what I did to him, but I think he's got way too much power to just come out and change matches whenever he feels like it. And you made let everyone know about my Universal title reigns, but man, he screwed up a title. That's a big loss for me. So I got to get back on track. I got to get the win on 30th against Carlito, and then Steiner, friend or not, I got to go back after that title.
Now, Johnny, you talked about all the accomplishments of Carlito. I can tell you're a very humble wrestler. But let's be honest, man. We all like to look at our opponent and exploit some of their weaknesses. Speak to some of the things that you can do to Carlito that he may not even see coming on June 30th.
Well, he's gotten a lot bigger, and I think everyone probably noticed that, Mary. He's put a lot of size on. He's obviously hitting the weight room pretty hard, and I'm not sure if maybe his speed and agility hasn't caught up to that size. So that extra 20 or 30 pounds will really kind of hold you back, in my opinion. Whereas like myself, where I'm still in great condition, I'm actually lighter than I was back in my WWE and TNA days. So I'm actually quicker now, I feel. And I think that might be an advantage I have, that I might be a little faster than him at this point. So duck and dodge, get in there and maybe pull a few old tricks out of my sleeve, and just do what I got to do to get my hand raised.
Absolutely. You got to do what you got to do to get your hand raised. Basically what you're saying is you're prepared to do whatever it takes to beat Carlito and get your shot at the Universal title again.
Always, absolutely. And now that UCW is back in the full-fledged, straightforward ahead, I want to be the crown jewel again. I want to be the top, the main guy, the one everyone's coming to see. And to me, that's a 2-win deal. I got to beat Carlito, and then I got to find a way to beat Scott Steiner, which is easier said than done. Like I said, he's a good friend of mine, but let's be honest, the guy's straitjacking material. You never know what he's going to do. You never know what he's going to say. You just got to be ready for anything with any of these guys. So I'm just using my experience and my background and everything I've seen and just putting it all together and going for the best.
You know what? The journey continues June 30th in Griffin, Georgia. UCW Payback. It's going to be awesome. Johnny Swinger taking on Carlito. I don't know. Apples are flying. I think you can avoid it. You've already scouted out that aspect. He's put on some pounds, man. Like you said, his speed and agility may not have caught up with that. You got to check out the action. UCW Payback, the best form of entertainment for the buck between 7 and 45. Doors are opening at 6:30. The bells are ringing at 7 p.m. Johnny Swinger at Johnny Swinger 2 on the Twitter sphere. And of course, folks, check out his website, swingtimewrestling.com. Johnny, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you right here in Wenz World, man. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Hey, same here, guys. I appreciate it. And just one more thing I want to throw out there. The other difference is if these people, the good fans, they get to the show at 6:30, they're going to get the opportunity to meet myself and Buff and Big Papa Pump and Carlito. You don't get an opportunity like that at any other major league show. So I hope the people come out early and take advantage of that. We love meeting the people and taking pictures with them and, answering their questions. It's a great night. It's a fun night, good family night. I hope everybody comes out.
I love it, man. You are a consummate professional. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. See you at the big one.
Right on, brother. Thank you.
See you next week.
I love me some good old-fashioned wrestling.
The Rock actually cares about this ongoing soap opera.
This is your male soap opera moment.
Look out, Boots! Fireworks are flying because, after all, we have a new prediction champion, undisputed, right here in Wenz World. I'm sorry to say, but I will give credit where credit is due, and credit belongs to the one and only Wrestling Encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Bucci.
You know what? I will take the anticlimactic introduction and still hold my championship belt high above my damn head as the champion once again sits on his throne where he belongs.
You know what? I hope you kept the receipt from Target because you're going to have to return that and buy me a new one come Extreme Rules, and you can guarantee that.
First of all, I bought this at Toys R Us on clearance, thank you, because they're going out of business. But second of all, I don't care because this belt represents what I have always been, the king of wrestling predictions.
Yeah. So let's go back through Money in the Bank. You know, a clock is right twice a day, and, well, that pretty much sums up Bucci's life. So we'll talk about the kickoff match here, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Bludgeon Brothers defeated Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I believe both of us were correct on this.
Both of us were correct on that. A part of me was hoping Gallows and Anderson would take it, but I think they feel like they want to give the Bludgeon Brothers a little bit longer of a run. It made sense. Like I said before, they weren't on TV as much, so that meant they had nothing big planned. It was a no-brainer. The Bludgeon Brothers were taking it.
Speaking of no big plans in the future, Big Cass defeated by Daniel Bryan with the heel hook, and Daniel Bryan looking strong as he works his way toward Extreme Rules.
Absolutely. You know, they're giving Daniel Bryan the fast track to Extreme Rules, and it was just, It was every horrible thing I thought it was going to be, this match.
But you were right, and I was wrong.
Yes.
I don't know why I sided with Big Cass, a 7 foot... Yeah.
No, on paper, you had the right idea to go with, and on paper, that's the way it should have been.
Right.
But, they decided that they wanted to push Daniel Bryan and not let us take a 7 foot guy seriously. And we watched a 4 foot guy tap out a 7 foot guy, which is about as realistic as Sex in the City.
And not the first time we've seen this either.
Oh, yeah. So it was, it was another tap out, and it was just like, are you kidding me? And I'm glad it opened the show because we were able to get it out of the way.
Absolutely. Bobby Lashley defeating Sami Zayn. I think both of us knew this was going to happen as they pushed Bobby to the forefront.
Once again, it was a one-sided dominating match. It was it was a no-brainer. So basically, the first two matches, usually they have a match that opens the show and gets everybody excited. Instead, they wanted to put two matches where, okay, I guess people need more time to use the bathroom, so here's two matches to put out.
Well, definitely, because, I mean, you see Sami Zayn dancing around the ring for the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's god-awful.
It was horrible. Like, he's still trying to do his entrance dance, and it just looked awful.
Absolutely. But they turned it around when that Intercontinental Championship match took place. Seth Rollins defeating Elias. This was an awesome match.
Match of the night, I believe.
Yes.
This match had me on the edge of my seat because I had no idea who was going to win this one. Like, obviously, I picked Seth Rollins, and I ended up being right with that one. And I think we both agreed that Seth was going to take that. And it was a great match. Like, it was on the edge of their seat, and this is what I love. Seth Rollins is doing the right thing with the Intercontinental Championship. This is the spot that he belongs in because he's a phenomenal wrestler and he's doing what the Intercontinental Championship is supposed to do, which is put on great matches, and he's bringing out the best in every single guy he's working with. And that's exactly what he did with Elias. Like, Elias could have walked out with that championship and there wouldn't have been one upset person in that crowd. That's how great the match was.
Absolutely. Fantastic insight from the Booch. Of course, you can follow him on the Twitter sphere at Vince Bucci and online, VinnyTheBooch.com. Now, taking a look at the ladies' ladder match, none of us saw this one coming as Alexa Bliss defeated Banks, Moon, Natalya, Flair, Lynch, Naomi, and Lana, much to the chagrin of the wins here, because yours truly really wanted to see Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. But again, WWE never listens to me. They could have built something beautiful with Lana and Rusev and decided against it in favor of the consummate women's champion, Alexa Bliss.
Absolutely. I did not expect Bliss to win this match either. I did not see that coming. I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to either be Ember Moon or Charlotte. Those were probably the two most likely to win, but they gave it to Alexa Bliss. You know, it was a good curveball. And an even bigger curveball happened later in the show.
Big time.
Yeah, so Alexa Bliss, I didn't see it coming, but it was still a great ladder match nonetheless. I definitely liked this one better than the one last year. This is way better than the one they had last year. So they definitely improved the women's Money in the Bank.
I'd say most pay-per-views have two armpit matches. We referenced the one earlier as Big Cass and Daniel Bryan, I guess you could say, squared off, but the other armpit was Reigns and Mahal. I took this time to catch up on my taxes, combed my cat, scooped the litter box, and by the time I got done with doing important things, the match was over, thankfully.
Yeah, I know. My girlfriend actually called me during this one, so I had an excuse to get out of the room. But what's interestingly enough is the fact that I will say this. Based on what I did see, even though the crowd hated it, it was a decent match. If you really look at the match in ring, it wasn't like as horrible as the other two. I thought they did a decent job, but like we said before, they're just killing time till Brock comes back. So, and we knew Roman was going to get the win. So I will say those two did the best they could with what they had. So I give props to both those guys for working through a match in front of a crowd that hated both of them pretty much equally.
You know, and although you did beat me overall in the war, I won this battle, and that battle was Carmella defeating Asuka with no real help, if you think about it, just because Ellsworth was ringside. I mean, he didn't really play that much of a factor. And I know you're going to make excuses as to why you were wrong, but that's the truth of the matter.
I mean, I wasn't going to make any excuses. I was going to say that I was shocked that was Ellsworth. I forgot he was tall enough to touch the ropes. So I'm not kidding. Like, I remember people going, dude, that's Ellsworth underneath there. I'm like, no, he's way too tall. That's not Ellsworth. Then the mask came off and I went, holy crap.
The chinless insect has returned.
Yes. Scrappy Doo had a growth spurt. Like, this is insane. It was crazy. Like, it's like he got a foot taller since he left WWE. And it was great because it shocked Asuka. She got distracted. You know, Carmella hit that big boot in the cover. I would have preferred the roll-up victory, personally. If you're gonna do a distraction, the roll-up should follow. That's how I believe. So the fact that she kicked out of that, I thought was awkward. But either way, it made Carmella look good. It got her the win, which I did not expect her to get. I really thought, okay, this is the moment that they're going to let Asuka, have the championship. But apparently, they still want to wait, and I'm still shocked that she doesn't have a streak anymore. I thought this would go at least till Mania. But I'm intrigued. So I like to see I look forward to seeing what's happening next. I'm a little annoyed that Ellsworth is back because that means eventually he's going to have to get a microphone in his hand, and he's just annoying on the mic. Duh.
Yeah, big time. The last man standing match, we were both incorrect about the outcome of this one as AJ Styles defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, unable to answer the 10 count. Again, I had very little interest in this match, but, to each their own.
Exactly. I mean, I will say the last man standing match itself was great. I think this was the best match out of all of them that they had. This was the best match in my opinion. Because it had everybody thinking who's gonna win. This is the one time where people were legit confused because now you know there's guaranteed to be a winner, and it looked like there were times where it was gonna be a draw again. So even though this match had nobody's interest, they did things during the match to keep your interest, to bring that interest back and make you want to keep watching. And then once Styles won, everybody was happy, not because Styles is a babyface, but because now that Nakamura has failed again, this rivalry can finally die off, and we can finally be saved from the pain of watching these two go against each other.
That is fantastic insight. I mean, that's so true, man. The Raw Women's Championship match ended in a no contest with Alexa Bliss interfering. But this match itself between Jax and Rousey really surprised a lot of onlookers, including myself. I did not anticipate the level of athleticism and the way these two work so well together.
Absolutely. Now, I said before the Intercontinental title match was probably the match of the night. This was the moment of the night for me. This was the highlight, I believe. Like, I think you put this, and then you put the IC title for a simple reason. And here's the thing. Here on the Male Soap Opera Moment, we give a lot of crap to the creative team at WWE. We pride ourselves on saying we got all these ideas. They don't listen. They're out of touch. This is the one time where I think we have no choice. We got to give props to the creative team for this, because this was the most brilliant way to save both of them. Because this match, no matter who won, they were both going to lose.
Yep.
That's the truth. Like, in the eyes of the fans, if Ronda had won that championship, fans would have turned on her instantly because it's too much too soon. Plus, it would have buried Nia Jax, who won the title at WrestleMania and should have won it 3 times by now at least. So that would have hurt her. Now, if Nia had won, you kill the mystique of Ronda Rousey, who's supposed to be this big money draw. You give her a 1-1 record. That's not intimidating anybody. So how could you do this? I was thinking maybe going to be interference. I thought that maybe there would be like some kind of crazy count out. I did not expect in a million years that Alexa Bliss would cash in the briefcase, and she did it the right way.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make it like a triple threat match, she hits Ronda Rousey with the briefcase
repeatedly.
Right there, disqualification. Ronda's still undefeated.
Yeah.
So you don't kill the undefeated streak at all. Then what does she do? She attacks Nia Jax with the briefcase, hitting the arm that was in the arm bar, which means when Alexa Bliss capitalizes with that DDT and the Twisted Bliss and gets the 1-2-3, it doesn't hurt Nia because she's selling the arm bar injury. So it doesn't weaken her at all. And Bliss walks out with the championship, and now we have another rivalry to go forward, and it puts Ronda Rousey kind of on the back burner as what happened on Raw the next night when she got suspended for 30 days, thus writing her off TV, putting the focus on Nia getting her rematch, and Nia and Bliss, we've had a break from this rivalry, so bringing it back doesn't hurt it as much, provided it doesn't drag out for months and months at a time. So this was the most brilliant way to save everyone. So creative team, so now it's the creative team 1 out of 10 million, but at least they got that one where they finally got it right.
Yeah, and it was a big one.
A big one, yes.
Speaking of I would say some would agree that Money in the Bank ladder match with the men involved, this to me, if not the best, one of the best matches, only because of how everybody worked together to pin the Monster Among Men under 8, 9, 10 ladders near the entrance ramp. That, to me, was brilliant writing, fantastic execution. They couldn't have done it any better, and kudos to the creative team for putting on one hell of a show with this match.
Yeah, and the best part is Braun Strowman got his payoff when he threw Kevin Owens 25 feet to the floor.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about that moment, like, because you see Kevin Owens with that tape on his shoulder, you know that hurt him. And he hasn't been doing much in ring lately, so we don't know if he's injured or if they're just trying to play it safe because he's just hurt, well, no matter what it is. But either way, right now, Kevin Owens took probably the nastiest bump of the night. It was literally like, that was just off the ladder, it was off the stage.
Yeah.
So Braun Strowman got his ultimate payoff just from that, and then, of course, from winning the briefcase, which nobody expected. And this is the thing that bugs me about the whole entire thing.
Here we go, Booch tirade. Here we go.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I like Braun Strowman, but he doesn't need a briefcase. I feel like the other guys, minus The Miz, deserved it more, Like, I would have loved to have seen, I know you wanted Rusev to get a briefcase. I'd have been totally fine with that. I felt Finn Balor deserved it more because it was a way to put him back into the picture, because I feel like if you're going to give it to a Raw superstar who's clearly cashing it in on Brock Lesnar, it should be a guy who can't realistically beat Brock Lesnar physically. That's who I believe the briefcase should go to. Now, even though Braun Strowman got dropped with one F5, he could still look intimidating against Brock. It could be believable against him. I don't feel like he needs a briefcase to cash in unless they're going to use it as an excuse for Brock to show up. That's the only logic I can think of where Braun's like, I want Brock Lesnar to be here, but Lesnar wants to sit at home, so I got a briefcase. You have no choice. You have to show up now. That's the only logic I could think of to put the briefcase on Braun Strowman, because I feel like he didn't need it. And not that he shouldn't be champion, but I don't feel like he needed the briefcase to get that title shot. I felt the other guys could have used that more.
That's a really good point, Booch. The Monster in the Bank champion, Braun Strowman. This is really going to make things sticky between Reigns, Lesnar, and now you got Braun Strowman in the background with that briefcase ready to cash in at any time. Booch, we got to cover Raw and SmackDown next week. We had so much going on for this edition of the Male Soap Opera Moment. Money in the Bank results galore. Lots going on as we work our way toward Extreme Rules with both the red and blue brand. But no episode of Wenz World is complete without the one and only wrestling encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Bucci. Follow the Booch on Twitter at Vince Bucci and, of course, at Wenz World Radio. So until next time, I'd like to say, have a nice day.
Bang, bang.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.